morning. This is Diligent Denizon Space from last night. My dumb drunk ass went up there and talked last night. Made a fool of myself. But here we go.
All right, welcome everybody. Bro, today was an interesting day. Last night we kind of got sent on this rabbit hole of discovery, this journey of discovery together about Erika Kirk. And so it was got brought to our attention that there may have been, a relationship undisclosed during her town hall meeting that turned out to be a relationship undisclosed, contrary to what she said during her town hall meeting on CBS the other night. And because I knew we all, if you were with us last night, you were listening as she said that she had never dated anybody in New York City. Never. Never's a pretty strong word. And then she reiterated 5 years. Wouldn't go on a date, doesn't drink, didn't go out for drinks. She only did breakfast and brunch. And Charlie just got lucky because he had a job interview, and if it had been a date or like a bar or something, that he wouldn't have gotten to go. Well, of course, I knew that was contrary to the work that we had been doing, or I had seen in my research with that fucking reality TV show. But then we start to dig a little bit deeper, and we have Habit Phillip come up as a boyfriend. Scrub profile. Shout out to Noxie and the rest of the girls in the subs chat. They sleuthed that one out and saw that they had been deleting the photos of them together. You can see the replies where it said, beautiful couple, great picture, you guys, gorgeous couple, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, the naysayers, that doesn't prove anything. And so then I started to dig back on the Wayback Machine. Shout out to the Wayback Machine. I love that thing, dude. The internet is forever with that thing. And luckily enough, there was a snapshot of Kabat Phillips' profile around that time. And sure enough, he posted a picture of a couple doing their painting together with Erika Franzwe, otherwise known as Erika Kirk. Very interesting story with that guy. He is, he has his dad's wrapped up in all kinds of international or geopolitical stuff. They have money. He also is tied to Israel through that as well, but also has gone himself. And then I figured out it's the Liberty University is where they overlapped, Noxie. I think they may have met there. I don't know if they met there or before there.
I think she went there after he did.
Hold on. Let me finish my opening. And then, so... Damn it.
My bad.
Liberty University is where I think they met, because there's an overlap there. She went to school there. He went to school there. And I believe that... I don't know how long they dated for. It looked like for maybe at least a year or two. But they were definitely dating in 2017, and it was closer to the end of 2017 when I found the post. So, and she met Charlie and started dating Charlie at the end of 2018. So it was about a year or less than a year before she was with Charlie. And according to her, in the public statement she made on the town hall, she didn't date anybody before Charlie for years, which is obviously not true. Provably false. But what's even more intriguing is that this guy, right? There's a photo of this guy meeting Charlie at BYU, or what appears to be BYU, in 2017, which is when he would have been dating Erika Franzwe. But before Erika Kirk or Franzwe met Charlie the first time in Arizona. So it looks like actually he met this guy first. Doesn't mean that they were friends, but they were definitely in a picture together, right? So and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're very close, right? I'm just being objective here, but they definitely didn't know each other. And so what I find interesting is that she lies about her relationship before Charlie. Turns out this guy is a turning point speaker at events. He has been for years. But what's really interesting is that 3 weeks after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, they start touring this guy under Charlie's name in Arizona was the first one, in Flagstaff, where she lives. Okay, so let me recalibrate for everybody. They are putting her ex-boyfriend, who they have scrubbed off the internet, as the tour guy instead of Charlie at these colleges. And the first one kicks off in her hometown of Flagstaff, as well as in Arizona. And they have another one in December, right? And so it's just really weird, dude. Like, you're gonna put your and then like the ones like learn to fight like Charlie, learn to lead like Charlie. Like, it's gross, dude. So her ex-boyfriend, who they've tried to hide, is now replacing Charlie on this campus tour, apparently nationwide, right? So, whoa. Like, is that, am I only the only one that think that's funky? Like, is that not strange to anybody else? We're going to get more into this in a minute. I want to kind of get this Candace Owens, Erika Kirk meeting thing out of the way real quick. We can talk about it, okay? I'm not going to say anything disparaging about Candace, to be honest with you. You know, my expectations weren't really high. I didn't expect Erika Kirk to go there and give her any valid, good information, because they haven't been giving us any good information. You know what I mean? Like, they haven't really, you know, why would that change? They have been intentionally, including Erika Kirk and the rest of her team, have been intentional. She's the CEO of Turning Point. Turning Point is out here trying to convince you that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk, and look no further. Well, who do you think signs off on that? Erika Kirk. So if Erika Kirk goes to Nashville, Tennessee, which ironically is where Kabat Phillip is from, and people, that you guys are killing me with the Kabat Shalom. Oh, it's killing me, bro. Like, those, I know there's a meme there somewhere, but that's killing me. So, anyways, yeah, she goes to Nashville to meet with Candace Owens. Candace Owens, I have to say, after hanging out with Erika Kirk and her team, or a couple of teams, and even talking to an attorney for 4 hours, I'll just say this. It was a little underwhelming today, right? I would have spent the entire podcast going through bullet points of what exactly was said, since we couldn't air it, or she didn't air it, they didn't record it or release it or whatever. I would have had bullet points of what was said, you know, what I could, what I couldn't talk about, and I would have spent the whole show doing that. But she got off into like the stories that, like, these hit pieces about her, and then the Tim Pool thing, and just, it kind of felt like it was like a deflection, and there wasn't really a lot of substance there. And maybe that's because, you know, she knew she didn't have anything and didn't want to be like accused of what she was accused of selling out. I don't think she. I mean, we don't know what any of these people's motivations are, but my gut tells me I don't think she sold out. I just think they did. I don't think they gave her anything. If I had to, like, you know, if I'm being Occam's razor here, I think it's unlikely that they gave her anything of substance. And so we should definitely manage our expectations when it comes to that. That being said, I am interested to see if she talks about this Kabat Phillip, because, you know, it overlaps with Erika. But I mean, how do you not? You know what I mean? It's incredibly suspect. And this dude's married. He got married in 2020 or 2019, I guess, during COVID. Like a small one, which would have been, you know, it's like the same year as she got married. I don't know, man. It's just really, every day, this shit just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. Do me a favor, you guys. Go down to the bottom right corner. Please repost the space We have 500 people in here and 50 reposts. Spaces are pretty broken, so the way that you share you get more visibility is by going down there and hitting the repost button and sharing these spaces out. I'll throw the posts that I'm talking about, the video clips and what I found on the Wayback Machine today, so you can see what I'm talking about, and we'll go from there. I can't. Go ahead, Noxie.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, that was an interesting little dive I did last night. The way that they're just like, it doesn't matter, like in some of my replies, and it just baffles my mind. Like, that is a blatant lie. Like, we started off, like, we knew about the Tyler Massey that she had dated. You know, those pictures were already circulating before this, so we kind of knew about that. And then we knew about the TV show that we had found and talked about months ago. And then just searching and doing a little digging and finding the replies where they were trying to hide the information. Like, you know, she's hidden her profile and locked it down. And so, I mean, I've even found retweets of however you say Phillips. I have even found retweets of where he's retweeting her, but you can't see what she's saying because that account is locked. And that goes all the way back to November of 2016. So this was going on for a while. We have replies to just on X themselves all throughout the year of 2017, basically. And then we have all the way to 2016 of a reply of him retweeting her. So that's a long time. And that is right before she met Charlie, which is highly disingenuous whenever you say that I hadn't dated in 5 years. I was not going out to bars. You know, if you ask me to Bob's Burgers, I'm not going. Like, God had to, you know, blanket this with a job interview, or else I would not have been interested. And it's just, you're trying right now to get people to believe you. Like, everybody, the problem right now is people questioning what you're saying, questioning your actions, questioning TPUSA and what they're saying and their actions. And then you come out with such a blatant lie that we were able to debunk so quickly after we heard it and knew that it was a lie. Like, this isn't helping your image. This isn't helping people trust in you. And so, no, I would not care about if Erika had dated somebody in her past. That is normal. I expect that. It actually makes her more relatable to me. Like, okay, she drank, you know, she was a single, beautiful girl. Like, it's not a big deal. But whenever you blatantly come out and you use God as God, this is a miracle of God, once again, that God knew what he was doing. And, you know, because I was the celibate, holy roller, better than thou type of person, that doesn't come across to people, and it comes off as disingenuous, and it's not relatable. If you would have just said, yeah, I had my days and then I settled down with Charlie and I changed my life and my ways.
Just be honest. Just be honest.
Just be honest about it. That helps people relate to you, and that feels more authentic.
It was the dishonesty that,
and then we can believe it.
Away.
Absolutely. And so whenever you do that, you're just causing more and more questions. And I actually tagged him directly. I requoted.
Oh, Thomas is back in the chat, coming to talk some shit. What's up, Thomas? Good morning, sir.
Quote posted his tweet where he is talking about that memory of Charlie Kirk and him playing basketball, and with the picture of him, you know, with the painting of her. And I'm just like, can you tell us about you dating her at this time? Because this is weird that
he's working for TPUSA.
I know.
I was a little buzzed up last night and came into the space and tried to talk to Denizon. Y'all gonna hear me make a jackass of myself. I was trying to get him to fucking do what I do or get on YouTube, because I feel like, you know, I'm getting so many views out of his stuff, like I'm stealing his crap. And I mean, I know I'm not, but because he's not putting it on YouTube. But I don't know, I just feel bad. Anyway, you'll hear it in a little while.
Well, I know, but it's weird that now you literally have her ex-boyfriend filling in Charlie's shoes. Like it's
He's married too. It is
it's
weird. It is
so
weird.
weird. And doing the whole tour, like her ex-boyfriend's just picking up the pieces, and he's the new Charlie now. Is this going to be the new Charlie? I don't know. But then you also have the the fact that he works for Ben Shapiro and all of that mess. And that was one of the things that a lot of us were paying attention to. Like Ben Shapiro was saying, like he would pick up the microphone and start doing the tours. And
he tried passing off that Twinkie guy. Remember?
Yes.
Remember the twink?
Yes, the little boy.
They pulled out. They got rejected immediately.
The hell is a queen monkey brancher? I am not familiar with that term.
For being
Yep.
being a gay Twinkie.
And then, but even Ben Shapiro himself said that he would pick it up. And that was one thing that Candace was like, absolutely not. Like, you're not just, like, nobody is just random person is just coming in and picking up Charlie's microphone. We're not just going to blindly follow whoever you guys put in to Charlie's seat. And I agree with that.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. A woman that jumps from man to man. I got you.
And I think it's just really weird that it's Ben Shapiro's guy and Eric Kirk's ex-boyfriend that is now doing these tours for TPUSA.
Yeah. And like, what's really weird for me, and if you guys look, in one of these posts, it's the third one back. If you scroll down in the comments section, you'll see this guy, they did a flyer. TPUSA had a flyer made for Kabat Phillip for October 6th. Before, like, it was like, how that takes time. You know what I mean? To have a flyer made, like a cardboard flyer made, and to be handed out for his appearance. Fight like Charlie or whatever. Yeah, fight like Charlie. Learn to fight like Charlie, and his appearance at that.
What are you talking about, Cody? Based off of you talking about her being jumping from man to man? If you go look at, well, I guess I could show you Diligence profile. This is that was Noxie. Let me go. Here's Diligence. Oh, that's the post. I don't know if y'all seen this yesterday, him post about this. I know everybody that was in here seen it, but she said that she had never been, or she hadn't been dating in New York. God dang it. She dated a GIY and then hid the fact she did. And then, what? Married Charlie, never cried when he died. Okay, whatever. She lied and said that she hadn't dated, even though she was literally on a dating show in New York. Is that it? Yeah. Right here. Alright, so this is where she said it.
When I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than go. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. My situation was a little different. I wouldn't do it. You went to a job interview. Literally. So
Isn't she kind of calling her roommate a whore? Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Okay.
this is how good the Lord is. He knew that because I was not dating in New York City, he knew that in order for me to know that that was my man.
Of course she invokes the Lord anytime she can.
And he had to blanket Charlie as a job interview. Because if that went in, no joke, if he came to me and said, hey, let's go on a date to Bill's Burgers, I'd be like, when I lived out here, I was here.
Now, here is her on Summer House, Season 3, Episodes 11 and 12.
So, how do you two ladies know each other?
We were in Miss USA together.
She's literally on a dating show right before Charlie, even though she says she didn't date in New York.
So she was
Never
Arizona
dated.
and I was Miss North Carolina.
I want to meet somebody with the same beliefs. I'm like a really big Christian. I'm like...
So you wouldn't meet him at church or anything?
It's tough because, like, I watch it online.
I don't think I've ever met anybody that's like, hey, I'm going to go to church on Sunday.
I go to 2 different churches. It's tough to be a believer in the city.
Yeah.
I think you're a bright light in a very dark place.
So let's go grab a mojito. We'll go grab a drink.
Oh, fine. Chopped liver.
Apparently.
It's like genuinely refreshing to have a conversation with somebody that like has the same beliefs. You coming in here just like owning it.
I appreciate that.
I'm really attracted to it. Can I get your number? Like,
Yeah.
how do you text with those nails that long too?
They exchange numbers right here, right? Lest you say this isn't a date. They exchange numbers right here, and then
Then you give like a mean backstrap. I mean, I don't even know how
them
long
on
you've
their
been in
date
New
in the
York.
next episode.
New York. I moved here 4 years ago.
How old are you? Can I ask you that? Or I can't.
Yeah, she is a lying. Somebody said Jewess. I don't know, man. That's your words, not mine.
That at that event. That was 3 weeks after Charlie was murdered. You know, like, so what? They got it all around. They had this guy picked out for a lineup, and
Can y'all please hit the like button? That would be awesome. Got 50 people in here and one like. Do a cracker a favor, bro. Come on.
rescheduled him and made all of these titles and the promotional material and had it all ready in a week. You know what I mean? Like, amidst all the chaos of the post-assassination aftermath. Crazy, dude. That's absolutely crazy. I'll throw it in the Jumbotron. Bottom right corner, everybody, repost the space. We are going to be using Grok on this one because I want to look into this Caleb guy, and I want to make sure that we are legal, so I am going to have it do a Spaces intro. Do your intro, Grok.
I am not a groiper. I don't have any problem with a lot of what Nick says, but I think Nick's kind of a twit and an edgelord, and he's actually backtracking on and throwing out Fed slop. So I don't know. He seems kind of faking gay to me, but he does say a lot of base shit too. So he's funny. That's what I think about him. I'm kind of like 50-50 with him. I certainly wouldn't follow him.
Hey, I'm Grok, powered by Grok 4 Heavy, created by XAI and integrated in X Spaces by @DiligentDenizon, ready to tackle your questions in real time. XAI is not verification of
I'm fast forwarding past the Grok intro.
statements made.
Oops. Hey, Bill. Thank you. So I think there's a couple of things at work that just make this more and more "quote unquote" interesting. And the fact of the matter is that when you think of
I've literally never listened to a episode of Nick Fuentes. Never. I've seen many clips where I've agreed with some of this crap, and I completely thought he was a Fed for the rest of it, and faking gay. So I don't know, man. I can't really speak to him because I don't watch it. His voice is so annoying to me. I can't hardly stand watching the clips. So I damn sure couldn't make it through like a whole long episode.
when you think of the image that Erika had immediately following the assassination, and people were curious about her, of course, but she seemed to be kind of angelic. The perfect wife, the perfect mother, and that made it especially heartbreaking, not to say it's any less tragic as it stands today. However, there was no reason for her to lie about her past relationships, and I think that just the fact that she did, it's like, I don't care. I don't think anybody cares that she had previous boyfriends, right? But the fact that she had said no, not for 5 years prior, and that appears to be completely false, then you start to ask yourself questions like, okay, well, what else is not true that we're looking at? And there are so many irregularities to begin with. But the other thing about Cabot Phillips, I think that I just find interesting particularly is this Is this sort of I don't know, I hate to say it, incestuous relationship between Daily Wire and TPUSA? One is like a farming school for the other, and they go back and forth. Now, what kind of outside influences are, how can I put it? What the goal of TPUSA becomes based on who is particularly influencing TPUSA, I think is what everybody is curious about. You know, is this really America first at all? Does it really have anything to do with what's best for America?
Can bullets be modified? Yeah, you would have. I mean, obviously, yeah, you can load rounds with different types of it. You know, different loads. You know, different combinations of powder, different amounts of grain. Obviously, that is true. You can do that. Why would I assume? Yeah. Why would I assume that it was like a special loaded round or whatever? Didn't we get some bullets shown that were like had some kind of furry like trans statements on them or whatever? Looked like regular like store bought rounds. You know, it didn't have any signs of reloads. So, if you're saying that to say, well, that's the reason why it didn't blow out of the back of his neck or whatever. I mean, is it possible? Yeah, it's possible technically. Is it extremely unlikely? I think it's extremely unlikely that, what is he, 22-year-old dude knows how to, that doesn't hunt and go to the range all the time and stuff. It isn't a big part of his life that he's doing reloads in his basement. I mean, I don't even do reloads. The people that I know that do reloads are like sergeant of arms, freaking type people. Like they're gunsmiths, they're range masters and stuff like that. I've never seen some normal person do their reloads. They're like gun nuts.
America, or is there a larger, or are there people with a vested interest that have nothing to do with their country, and really are using this, this tragedy as well as TPUSA to advance their own agenda? I think
kind of obvious at this point.
Yeah, so I think that maybe that's a good place to start. I'm not.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, his last documented position was abandoning the pro-Israel cause, but they're having a Shabbat dinner, and she is promoting. She's conflating to the Jewish people and Israel whenever she's doing her PR tour and her town hall.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was a big Trump supporter, and I thought that people that thought the Butler shooting was fake were ridiculous, but the more I look at it, the less real it looks. I mean, I don't know about anything anymore. Everything seems kind of fake and gay to me. Like it's all. Actually, I'll say it in the space with Diligent here in a minute. Everything seems kind of fake and gay, like a WWE or WWF presentation for the public.
So it's not really, I don't think it's fair to anybody.
So I have a question for you, Dill. So if you do you think that she was placed in front of him like a honeypot, or do you think it was a marriage of convenience?
I don't know. I don't make any of those kind of claims or theories. I just highlight anomalies and things that are weird and don't add up. I leave it to other people to come up with theories. All right, let's go to Noah. Go ahead.
Thank you, Diligent. Thank you, Nazi. Thank you guys for repeatedly having me up. I just want to state for the record how dumb painting dates are. They're just dumb, okay? Ladies, if a guy ever agrees to go out on a painting date with you, he's inauthentic and all that entails. Number two, if he's a straight guy, he's just going to make a stick figure painting of Sydney Sweeney with big boobs. So never, ever, ever a painting date. Thank you, guys. Your spaces rock.
I'm curious, TPUSA did a show today, and there's no way they didn't see my post. It's at the first one I made is at 2.5 million views. The one I made yesterday was at 1 million views. The one that's pinned to my profile right now is at 2.7. There's no way they haven't seen it. And I want one of them to respond to it, address it. What do you have no.
It's at 4 million now. It was at 2.7 last night when he did this space. 4 million. Wow. Yeah, he's getting a lot of traction. He gets a lot of traction on it.
No statement at all? You're just going to ignore it on the week of your AmFest? I guarantee you that it's going to be talked about at your AmFest. Things aren't looking good. They got ratioed on the last two posts. They were trying to call anybody else a conspiracy theorist as they're trying to propagandize the public about Tyler Robinson. They've been ratioed every single time. It's brutal. It's brutal. People aren't buying it. So, I can't wait to see if they actually, address this publicly, because that's going to be awkward on stage. I believe that guy might be a speaker there. You know what I mean? That's weird. That's weird. Let's go to Andy. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to really trust anything coming out of Erika Kirk's mouth when she basically lied about something as big as that. That's not just some little lies. She was dating and turning point in one of Charlie's friends, as we've.
Cody, that's a pretty good. That's a pretty good assessment or theory. I certainly wouldn't. Disagree with that. I have no reason to. I think that's how they get a lot of patsies to do a thing. They would rather go to jail as a killer than as a PDF.
We've been saying that's not just some tiny little white lie. Oops, I forgot about that. And also, Trump's now blockading Venezuela and going and blocking all the oil tankers. So as we all knew, that war was about the oil, which we've been saying all along. It wasn't about a bunch of drug boats carrying 5 kilos of.
I want to keep it on topic.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's just good that this whole
Zoolander was a MK Ultra thing.
Whole thing is crashing down, and we're getting the truth for Charlie. Because it appears Erika's now trying to get the money from Netanyahu and those donors that Charlie turned down and his final wishes. It's just very hurtful to basically see her spitting over his legacy like that, and we can all see it. And what's going to happen, I think, is people are just going to stop following Turning Point. They're going to start following Nick, Candace, and they're just going to leave the organization because so many of the young people are they're just done with Israel if they're pushing Zionist propaganda.
Why would they go follow Nick if he's also killing the government narrative?
He's killing I think he's killing the government narrative. I think the reason he's killing the government narrative is just because he had his feud with Charlie. I think he knows the narrative is false. He just doesn't want to make Charlie a martyr for Israel because he and Charlie had their issues. Didn't Charlie Charlie hated Nick? So
Charlie's dead.
I know. I think Nick just doesn't want Charlie to be a martyr for Israel, so I think Nick just should let that go, but he won't. So, I started following Nick after the whole Tucker Cost thing, so I'm more newer to all this space.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go to Hot Rod. Go ahead, Hot Rod.
Hello, thanks for having me on. I'm relatively new to a lot of this myself, but what was the lie specifically? I was trying to clarify that with you, Diligent. You said that she had talked about a relationship, and then there was a relationship or something?
She said during her town hall she did not date anyone in New York for 5 years prior to meeting Charlie.
Oh, okay. I don't know if that's necessarily a big deal. I don't know. Maybe it didn't really go anywhere, and she didn't really quantify it or qualify it as an actual dating situation. You know what I mean?
Why did she scrub it from her profile then?
I don't know. People scrub all kinds of stuff.
So when she was on this PR tour for the last week and a half, Was she positioning herself as a moral authority in the Christian or the evangelical Christian sphere?
I don't know. I mean, I have mixed feelings.
You don't know?
As far
You
as
don't know?
her.
Okay, so let me help you. She said that she didn't do anything like that. She didn't drink while her roommate was out there dating. She was sitting back and watching her date. Her roommate would go to dinner with one guy and then go out for drinks with another guy around the same time, and but she wasn't like that. She didn't do things like that. The only reason why Charlie got a date with her is because it was an interview, which is patently false. Because obviously we have her on a reality TV dating show, right? Out on a date at a bar at night with drinks. So, and I don't know if she was drinking. I didn't see her drink. I don't know what her drink was in her drink, so I'm not going to go on that. But she definitely was out on dates. A couple of times. She went one with a group of people, and then the second time she went with one guy by himself. It didn't turn out, it didn't go anywhere. But it's still dating, right? And so it's just, and then obviously, Kabat Phillip in 2017, that is a provable, like they were boyfriend and girlfriend, right? So, my point is that she is selling herself, or actually the shills in the media are selling her as a moral authority, right, that we should listen to because she's such a good person. However, as they're selling her, the things that she's saying are not true. So that kind of hurts her credibility as a moral authority. Don't you think it's a little hypocritical?
Well, I don't think anybody lives up to sainthood. You know what I mean? So everybody's flawed. We're all human.
But not everybody is being wheeled out on CBS by Barry Weiss and getting a puff piece for an hour either, right?
I mean, just for an example, like today they were talking.
Not everybody is installing TPUSA chapters in our kids' schools in Texas and in Florida and Oklahoma and other states, right?
But what's wrong with that?
Well, if the organization is corrupt and its leadership is dishonest, are those the kind of people that we want directing operations within our kids' schools?
Where's the corruption?
I said if.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's more corruption in the Twin Cities than there is at Turning Point USA.
That's a whataboutism.
I'm just trying to point out, like, that's actual corruption. You know what I mean? And I haven't heard anything in TPUSA that's actually shown to be corruption.
Thank you for those of y'all hit the like button. Coming up is the part where I make a fool of myself.
It just doesn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
Did Charlie Kirk order for a Doge audit to be done the week before he died?
Look, Erika stepped out as the CEO and public face of TPUSA with this tour. She is open for criticism.
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
Oh, then you haven't paid attention. Yeah, he did. And have you heard about them? Have you heard about them conducting a Doge audit since he died?
What did he want audited?
What do you mean? It's a Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. That's finances and spending.
Oh,
and operations.
Doge itself to be inventoried?
I mean, you're gonna have to go find the post. It's on my profile. I don't want to rehash it, but my point is,
most of the people I know, Diligent and myself, who was that? Loch Ness Monster, 1912. Yes, I supported Trump. I voted for him 3 times. I now admit that I was wrong. He's fake and gay, just like the rest of them. I think that everything's fake and gay. There is no left and right. It's just good versus evil. And we have to unite as a people against really the elites and the Satanist, Kabbalist, pedophile freaks that are ruling over us, the organized crime syndicate that's ruling over us. So that's how I feel about it now.
Is that he was concerned about how the finances were being spent the week before he died, right? There's things that are occurring in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death that are antithetical to what we saw. We're not hearing about a Doge office, right? We're also he was leaving the pro-Israel cause 2 days before he left because of the bullying of the Jewish donor.
Trump is kowtowing to all of Israel's whims, right? Did we or did we not vote for no more freaking wars and for mass deportations and for deep state arrests? Where is all that shit out? He comes and tells me Trump came and told me, if you, what, y'all are still talking about these Epstein files? If y'all are still talking about this shit, I don't want y'all supporting me. Well, guess what, bitch? I don't support him no more. He got what he wanted. They are not deporting. They are deporting at such a small little trickle that is doing nothing. They're bringing more people in, air quotes, legally than they're getting rid of. Okay, we need to get rid of all these people out of our country that have been imported here at least since 1990. Okay, every single one of them got to go. There are Americans without jobs that their wages are being driven down. That it's the elites. They want their slave labor. It's never changed. The elites want their slave labor. Even fucking MTG.
Owners, and instead of honoring those wishes, right, now that he's dead, we're out here saying Shabbat Shalom and having Shabbat dinners and acting like turning.
I will not keep voting R. I will not vote if they don't give me an American first candidate. I will not vote.
Point and TPUSA and Israel are best buds, even though that wasn't the case before he died, right? Dishonoring his memory. A lot of Weekend at Bernie's shit is happening in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, and I'm not a fan of it. And I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. And when the leadership, okay, if you talk over me, I'm gonna have to drop you down. When the leadership at TPUSA, the CEO, is being dishonest on a PR tour, what do you think that means about the shit that we don't know about? If that's the front facing, right? If there is evidence of dishonesty at the highest level from the most front facing individual on a PR tour, what do you think is happening behind the scenes? You know what the tip of the iceberg is? Might have to unmute your mic.
Yeah, that's what we can actually see and hear and account for.
It's always just, the tip of the iceberg is always just a little bit that you can actually see. If you see a symptom or a problem, if you see just a little bit of a symptom or a problem, it's usually indicative of a much larger issue, right?
I would totally agree with you there. I mean, it's highly probable.
So you don't think it's strange at all that she's got her boyfriend touring in Charlie's place 3 weeks after he died, her ex-boyfriend?
Well, I definitely lay more credibility into the fact that you're talking about, like, TPUSA getting cozy with Israel and all of that. Totally agree with that.
You don't think it's weird that she is touring her ex-boyfriend?
And I disagree with it myself.
You don't think it's weird that she's touring? You don't think it's
Israel's Israel?
You don't think it's weird that she's touring her ex-boyfriend? I'm just giving a litany of reasons of why you said they're not corrupt, yada yada yada, right?
Her ex is this guy, Kabat. I believe that's who they're talking about.
I was giving you a litany of reasons of why they are suspect.
Oh, okay. So, all right.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Mark.
You started off the space saying you wouldn't disparage Candace, and I definitely respect that. There were like 300,000 people in the live stream concurrently for a reason. I don't think that reason was for slop. Like, when I went into her stream, it was for substance. I thought I was going to get, like, something out of that. What I got instead was, like, WWF or WWE. The hero becomes the heel. Kind of felt fake and gay with just enough truth, like, for placating the base, kind of like we're used to with politicians. I'm hoping I was mistaken, but I felt that way. Did you watch the stream? I was hoping to get your opinion.
I mean, you can see the title. It says "Meeting Nothing Burger." That's what I think about it. Right.
Also, real quick, I tried to shoot you a message. I stream your space. I stream X Spaces on YouTube, and I got 34,000 views on your town hall or Erika Kirk space earlier this morning. You should think about. I will.
I'm setting something up now.
You should do that because you got really high quality material and you're getting called out by high level YouTube people. You should capitalize on that, and I'll help you any way I can.
All right. Thank you. This isn't a promotional space. Thank you so much. Let's go to Nicholas. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah. I was wondering if anybody else remembers this, but I feel like Nick Fuentes, when he was on his Tucker Carlson interview.
Could y'all tell I was drunk?
Mentioned Cabot Phillips in some capacity, but I've been trying to research and find a quote, and I can't find anything. I wanted to know if anyone else remembers that.
What now?
I said, I was wondering if anyone else remembers Nick Fuentes mentioning Cabot Phillips on the Tucker Carlson interview he did. I feel like he did, but I can't find a quote anywhere, and I'm feeling so gaslit because I remember for sure him mentioning Cabot Phillips having something to do with the Daily Wire.
I don't know. I don't watch Nick Fuentes. Okay, let's go.
I just watched Tucker.
All right, let's go to Dr. Kirk.
Hey, Diligent. I'm cutting in line, so just make it real brief. You mentioned just a few minutes ago about Candace and Doge, and bottom line, and there was one other thing that actually came out of that Doge thing. Tyler Boyer was demoted or fired, and then he was actually brought back on and put right back in the same position that he was in, and they canceled the Doge audit. And anybody who's been following this and supposedly is kind of knowledgeable about this who doesn't know about that is absolutely nuts. Okay. So it doesn't make any sense to me how you can bring something up like that. I also wanted to bring something else up. I just came from Alex Jones. Yeah, well, no, I know you did, but I just wanted to confirm that. I just came over from Alex Jones, and Alex Jones had some guy on there with sunglasses and everything else debunking Candace Owens's, discussion about these Egyptian planes, saying that when he did it, and he did the audit, and he looked through her screenshots and her Excel spreadsheet, and then he went and bought some extra program, and he's claiming that 60% of what she said, because there were 66 overlaps initially, and then she confirmed that there were 73.
I don't really care to talk about the Egyptian planes because it doesn't really help the cause right now.
Okay.
I mean, really. Right. You haven't heard me spend a lot of time talking about it. I posted about it the first time that she spoke on it. I posted about it, I think, one time. We talked about it in that one space. But until more comes out of it that we can, that has substance to it, I'm just not gonna. I don't want to waste a bunch of time on it.
Well, she mentioned today.
I feel like it's a red herring.
It could be. She mentioned today, though, that there was a lot of overlap with Israel and landing in Israel, and
doesn't that kind of sound like red meat for the Groiper crowd or the anti-Israel?
Well, it could. Yeah, no, I don't know. But the problem is that. Not the problem. I think the issue for us is the more information we have, the better off we are, and then allow us to screen it and allow us to, kind of either debunk it or figure out whether it's relevant.
What did you think about what did you think about what was given to you today?
Well, I think she's trying to be honest. I don't think that I think she's trying to say that, she's not being bought and, she's going to continue to do what it is that she's doing.
That was in response to a comment on our live stream. Someone sent a big donation to have her read that off. I was a little surprised, to be honest with you.
And, I don't know. Look, I don't get any, I think I'm pretty good at reading people. I don't get any evidence.
She actually gathered any really great information from the meeting. You know what I mean?
But I don't get. But I don't think there's one iota of Candace that is doing this for any false pretenses or anything at all. So I think that whatever it is that she's doing, she's trying to do for the best, or with all the best intentions. So I'll just leave it at that.
Right on. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know if we don't know anybody's intent. I always try to like avoid, wasting a lot of time trying to figure out people's intent, because if the results usually speak for themselves. So, and today was, I don't think it was like an outright sellout kind of episode. I just feel like it was a nothing burger, but I don't think that can be all attributed to Kansas, because the individuals that met with her have been, they've had plenty of opportunity to put out information that could be useful, and have not only not done so, but they are actually putting out information to reinforce the official narrative. And according to her and them today, they're going by the charging document, and that's it. They haven't seen any smoking gun, so to speak, that's convinced them to take that position, which is really kind of contrary to what Erika Kirk's been telling us, right? She's told us that she has a really good team, that she's privy to information that no one else is, and that is why she believes Tyler Robinson killed her husband. She's got his cell phone, and there hasn't been a threat. That's a discrepancy I noticed. Candace repeated something about Charlie getting, being concerned that they were going to kill him, which was falsely attributed to the left, so far anyways. And then Candace repeated that today. And she repeated it after the meeting with Erika Kirk. So are you saying that Erika Kirk lied to us the other night when she said that she had Charlie Kirk's cell phone and that there was no threats the day before? What's going on there? Right? And so, I was a little bit more confused, I guess, and that on that specific thing. Otherwise, I didn't really hear a whole lot. The call logs were...
Sorry, I'm not paying attention to the live chat if y'all are talking to me right now. I'm unloading a truck, so sorry about that. I am listening to the stream though.
She's like trying to straighten the narrative with that guy, and then they mixed up the staff member and all that. Like, it was all of that was really confusing to me. And I don't really feel like it moved the needle. So I don't know if that's, I feel like maybe she's just, giving what she has to give, and that's it. I probably would have approached it a little bit differently myself, but, I'm not Candace Owens. We all have our own styles of doing things. I would have been taking notes the whole fucking time, or recording it. I don't know what the laws are in Tennessee, but... and then I would have had a show today and then listed out in bullet points and details what I had to give. It's like, look, this is exactly what I have to give you. Here it is. Take it or leave it. This is the best I can do. This is all I have. This is all they gave me. And so I wish I could give you more. Or act, and it didn't sound like she was like overselling it at all, right? I just feel like a lot of people had high expectations, because there's so much drama between Candace Owens and Erika Kirk that, they were expecting a little bit more. But it was really underwhelming, to say the least. But, it is what it is. We continue on, right? This investigation isn't about Candace Owens. It's not. It's about Charlie Kirk. It's about his assassination. And it's about the inconsistencies and anomalies that we see in that investigation. And this is a movement of we the people, and it's a decentralized one, and we need to keep it that way.
I think with the text messages, how Candace had clarified that was Erika was saying that it was not a text message. It wasn't in his text messages, but Candace said that whenever they looked at his Signal chat that they use, or this Telegram chat, that they absolutely were there. And so it's another game of semantics. It wasn't in his iMessages, it was in his Signal chats.
Noxie, which is exactly why Candace should have actually asked her. So Andrew Kovac told me about this text message, but he didn't, or whatever Telegram message, but he didn't tell you that. That doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, it was a 4.5-hour meeting and into an hour podcast. And I think that she tried to give like some talking points, and how Candace is too, is that she's probably going over.
Somebody needs to leave or hit the like button. I got 66 people in here and 6 likes. Come on, guys. This is bullshit. Somebody needs to just leave. Somebody leave. I do not like that number of being up there.
Some of the information that she did receive that she didn't tell us all about today, because she's going to go and verify and check it and go over it, and she probably needs a little bit of time to do that. She's not going to say that, but I'm sure that she learned some things that she's probably researching right now. I mean, it's just, you know, like me coming up with this stuff yesterday about the boyfriend. You know, I sat there and I had to find it, and then, you know, I shared it with Diligent, and then he goes in and he starts looking, and as we look,
did that dude really say that he's broadcasting my spaces onto YouTube and getting like 30,000 live listeners at a time? Is that what just happened there? And then he's like, hey, yo, you want me to hook you up? What the fuck? Sorry.
That's crazy.
He's talking about me.
I didn't even catch that. But I think that, you know, she had a ton of listeners today. I think I popped on at one point and looked, and it was like over 300,000 people were listening live. And if she got information and it is debunking it or what she said.
Yeah, but they were there to get they were there for the juice.
Right, but she's also.
Jews. Wait, I know, not Jews. They were there for the JUICE, right? They were there for all the deets.
Right, and then she let us know what they went over, and I think that there's still going to be time of her fact-checking what exactly they said, how they said it. Does this
She said she's talking about the plane tomorrow and collaborating, and I don't know,
just because you're not interested in the plane and you don't get the plane thing of it, like it's
not that I don't get the plane thing, but it is being used as a straw man, because you have to be able to directly link the plane to other than just overlap in location and temporal overlap, right? Because at the very best, it is a suspicious circumstantial evidence, right? And I'm not trying to say that because it's not like I don't think that it's significant, but without something tying it more concrete that ties it in, you know what I mean? I feel like it needs to be investigated more before we're. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Before that she talks about it. But at the same time, like, she's getting so many tips and so much info from crowdsourcing the information that she does have, that's how she runs it. I mean, we do the same thing, Diligent. We can start talking about something and somebody will DM us or message us and give us a clue here or a clue there, and it helps put it together.
I understand that.
And look at it. John Colin was talking about this. He completely disappeared. You know, just off the face of the earth. He's just gone. And
he moved from the Netherlands to Hong Kong, so I think he just stopped tweeting.
Which is odd.
Bottom right corner, everybody, please repost the space. I see that we have 800 people in here and 100 reposts. The way that you can support the space the best is going to the comments section and hitting that repost button, because spaces are broken and that's the only way that it can get seen. Sorry, Noxie, go ahead and land your plane.
No, you're fine. I find it interesting that he was talking about this and then he went radio silent, because he was an instigator. He was kind of an asshole. And he didn't seem like the type that was just going to be quiet and go away, and yet he did. And I think this is very odd, the fact that they're overlapping a couple of times is one thing, but over 60 times, I think that's suspicious, and I think it needs to be looked into more.
Okay. Go ahead, Amir.
Okay, so we did get a few things, and one of the things that we got was, for one, Erika, Kirk, and all of them, including the government, TPUSA, and all the sycophants online, like the influencers pushing the narrative that it was for sure Tyler Robertson. And she specifically said that she sees, she saw the autopsy, she sees things that we don't see. We know that's not true. So that's very suspicious, very suspicious. The other thing, too, is that when she said that on the Glenn Beck show, and it was Glenn posed the question in a setup sort of a way, and then she says what she says, and then says that she has his phone. Now, if it was my husband, and I know that claims are being made that he sent messages Well, obviously, I know that he talks to people using his Signal or WhatsApp, not just his phone. I would have gone through all of it. And so she tells Candace, "Oh, well, I didn't see it in his iMessages, but it was in his Signal." She couldn't back out of that then. So you're gonna tell me she just now noticed that since the Glenn Beck show that she just happened to go on his phone and decided to go look at other apps? Bullshit. The other thing too is, why didn't she come to Candace and say, "Hey, what do you have? Tell me, what are you seeing here that makes you feel so strongly that this kid is not the..."
Where is the curiosity?
Right, none. And then, like you said, her ex-boyfriend, she is going to have as a speaker and scrubs her. If she has nothing to hide, why you scrub all of that? So the other thing that she mentioned too was, Kovac, speaking, not having the permission of the doctor. Because of the HIPAA or whatever, and that, so he told her that he had permission from the doctor. I don't believe he ever spoke to a doctor. What doctor is going to say that he had a Superman neck? I mean, or even the curiosity that, a 30-06 most likely did not blow off my husband's head. Like, this woman is not curious at all, and we have seen her not be authentic and acting very suspicious. So what else did she give? What else? So the only corrections made was what's his name, Mikey, that he did, the phone calls that he made, but he kept his wife on. So we learned that he kept his wife on the phone on every single call that he made that lasted 10 or so minutes.
Isn't that odd?
Everything is weird. And I'm like, I just hope that Candace that didn't buy this woman's, or the lawyer. How about the lawyer saying...
It sure seemed during the episode while I was watching it, admittedly, I had a buzz while I was watching it, but it sure seemed like she was buying Erika's crap. And that's why it felt like it was a sellout to me. Do I think that she was paid off or bought or whatever? I certainly freaking hope not, man. But you know what? This world's so dark, nothing would surprise me anymore.
They don't have anything, and but then again, telling them that they have a slam dunk case, like, it doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't you want to know about why would you not want to look? And if you look, it's all the same guys. It's the government, TPUSA, and the influencers all acting the same way. And it's just so uncomfortable. And I really I want this woman exposed, because I think she is evil and wicked. And I think that I really personally feel that she knew ahead of time, like the call was, job's done. Really, honestly, it's really what it feels like to me now. I had something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember now. You touched on it. Oh, you're reporting today. I'm going to simp because it was fantastic. But that one that you posted about that guy, with that guy's, her boyfriend on the
his name, he's up in the title.
Yeah, but it's not getting enough. Can this room please retweet that? Because that's an amazing post that should go viral. Can everybody please repost that? If you can't repost
which one?
Space. Well, actually, all of them.
Well, it is going viral. It says 3 million views, but the one that you're talking...
No, the one that I'm talking about right now is with the guys on the, her ex-boyfriend that's
on tour?
Going to be speaking. Yeah, on tour, going to be speaking to express how to lead like Charlie.
Isn't that weird? The dude is doing headlines of Charlie Kirk, and he used to bone his wife. Like, that is weird, dude. I'm sorry, but does anybody else not get Zintani? Hold on. Zintani's my resident bleeding heart, and so Zintani. Is there some kind of psychological condition that would convince Erika Kirk that it would be smart to put her ex-lover on tour in place of her husband 3 weeks after his assassination?
3 weeks?
Come on, man. Why me?
You're usually the one who takes up, that I'm like victim shaming or something. Like,
Well, I mean, okay, well, maybe we don't know their relationships. Maybe
we do know the relationships.
Maybe everyone's mature and nice to each other, I don't know.
Well, I mean, if everyone's mature and nice to each other, why would they delete the posts that showed that they were together? I had to go on the Wayback Machine to find it. Like, if it's a mature thing, then why try to hide it, I guess.
Yeah, well, thank you for bringing me in as an expert on this matter. I don't give a fuck. I don't know what I don't get what you guys are getting or what you guys are saying. I don't think it's a big deal.
You don't think it's a big deal that she positions herself as a moral authority, right? I don't drink. I don't go out. I did not date for 5 years before Charlie. And then, which is obviously in numerous ways untrue, right? And then is not only untrue, but on top of that, the person that it's untrue with is now replacing Charlie on the college tours just weeks after he's murdered. You don't think it's odd at all?
No, I think every single person I know lies about who they are and what they've done. And
okay.
I'm so used to seeing that in people that I'm not even batting an eye.
Okay, so your network is total shit. And so because your network...
No, it's human beings, our brains are wired to lie. And so you can sit here and say you don't lie about yourself.
But you're not positioning yourself as a moral authority, Zintani.
We lie to ourselves. We lie to others.
Do you know what a moral authority is?
No, please explain to me the English language, Diligent Denizon. You put me on the spot. What's a moral authority?
A moral authority is...
What I'm saying is, doesn't every religious person do that? Doesn't every religious person morally grandstand to some extent?
I don't think so. I mean, that's just like every person is either authentic or they're not authentic, right? And she's on a PR tour, presenting herself as authentic, genuine, and as a moral authority in a religious capacity, right? And so it's not like if that's easily debunkable,
I can tell y'all this. I may have some retarded takes, okay, and do some dumb crap, especially when I've been drinking. But I am genuine as I could possibly be all the time, and I will do my best never to lie to you about the way that I think about a thing, or whatever, all that shit. I think that there's a lot of people that are like that. I think that Candace is mostly like that. I don't know. She sure comes off like that a lot of times, but then sometimes she does some shady shit. Erika, I do not get a good feeling about Erika. Chat, what do y'all think about Erika? I wanna take a little poll in the chat. I'm not gonna do an actual poll, but y'all let me know. Do y'all trust Erika or no?
I mean, okay. This is why I called on Zintani. Go ahead.
I think that people are much more complex than that. Like, I will often say I'm not authentic at all. But what I mean by that is, like, when I say that, by just by happenstance of saying it, I'm more authentic than most people. Everyone puts on a mask, everyone has lies, everyone has cognitive dissonances, there's no escape from it. It is the human condition.
Okay.
Is to lie
she's
to
human,
yourself.
And therefore we should...
Yes.
So her credibility... Hold on. So her credibility remains intact because we're all liars, right?
I think that you do a great job of questioning everything. But we've already addressed, and we know that she's lied about certain things. I don't think there's a point in, like, sort of, and I'm not saying you're exactly doing this, but there's a connotation that's there to sort of insinuate that she is a liar, she is a bad person more than other people. I don't get that impression. No.
Okay.
Okay, let me just say, Zatanna, I think you need to find new friends, and you've been jaded. And let me just clarify.
I have a degree in neuroscience. That's where this is coming from. This is not a bleeding heart.
You're the one that you said the people I know, right? So you're the one that brought your friends into it, not us.
Everyone on this stage is full of shit about something. I fucking guarantee you, every single person listening to this, you are full of shit about something.
But I'm also not in charge of this massive organization that's installing chapters into kids' schools, right?
I agree.
Every person on this stage isn't up to the level of scrutiny that she's putting herself in, right? So that's the distinction.
One more thing too, I'd like to say is that there are Christians that we're all sinners. We all know that we're sinners, but to look up at God and to invoke and manipulate and use.
That woman speaking as the most bleeding heart person ever in any space ever. That's why Diligent asked her about it, because she's known for being that way. You're always gonna get that from her.
Use him in this way. It's beyond.
Yeah, you notice that I have a degree in neuroscience. That's where this is coming from. Not a bleeding heart. Here's an appeal to authority for you. Guess what, bitch? I got a degree too, and that don't make me qualified to say anything about this more than anybody else that has eyes to see. You know what I mean? And ears to hear.
Beyond a regular kind of evil or a regular kind of sinner who, curses or drinks or whatever. You don't want to say it, but most people tell me
it's blasphemous.
Yes, it is, exactly. And most people will tell you that know me will say that I wear my heart on my sleeves. I'm very open and
I've seen people with more degrees than a freaking thermometer that were absolute retards.
Authentic. So I don't really have any secrets. I mean, the only thing I would say that I might be full of shit about is if I say I'm going to start my diet tomorrow. But other than that, you get what you see is what you get. And I think there's a lot of people like that. So I don't know. She went out there on stage in her leather pants and said she forgave him with fireworks. I mean, the whole thing has been nothing but a show, a PR, a selling book tour, selling shirts.
But the whole thing's been fucking gross.
Yes,
okay, every day it becomes more gross, right? That's what we're witnessing here. It's gross, and it becomes more gross, and there's no. Go ahead, history.
Okay, mine really had to do with something that was said on the show, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I was frustrated. I mean, first of all, I do agree it was a nothing burger, but and an hour I can't get back. But she did say something that I found was really interesting, and Amira, you brought it up about Andrew Colvett saying that Candace said that she agreed that she learned that Andrew Colvett did see the autopsy, and that Erika confirmed that. Was I wrong when I heard that? Because that's what I saw in the clip. I watched the clip again, and that makes no sense because Erika didn't see, she said she saw the autopsy, then you're saying no, she didn't, but Andrew Colvett, it was almost like I'm
Andrew Colvett spoke to the surgeon. He did not see the person.
Spoke to the surgeon, right. I'm sorry, and that he did speak to the surgeon. So was Candace agreeing that this thing that
she said that Andrew Colvett gave out the information from the surgeon. He said that he had permission, but then Erika and her team said that was not true. That was what was said.
Okay. That just, I don't know, that kind of, it almost seemed like Candace was like, yeah, and Andrew did do this. And so is that true about the Superman? And it just, that whole thing seemed really weird too. Like she was kind of blowing that off, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But in regards to this stuff with Erika Kirk, to me, what is so frustrating is the fact that every time she speaks, she inserts the Lord and then goes on
Notice
to
she
lie.
never mentions Jesus, which is strange for a Christian.
You had said that last night in the space when we were doing the whole thing with the Erika Kirk, when we were watching the show. And it's very true. She doesn't. She says the Lord. Now, granted, but that reminds me, as someone, I'm Catholic. And a lot of times that's what we say as Catholics is the Lord. And so it's very interesting that she says this, because there was this whole pushback about him moving towards Catholicism, and she was Catholic. So in that sense, yes, but you can't push yourself off as an evangelical Christian and not say Jesus. Like, it's just very weird to me, but it's just the whole point that she just, oh my God, it just drives me nuts. But I don't know who is doing her PR, but they are doing a horrible job. And she does come across as very disingenuous. She comes across
I don't have anything against Jews. I'm pointing out the hypocrisy of her willing to invoke Jewish rights, but not say the word Jesus. Like, that's where.
Hey, who just said that? Word disgusting. I can't read the name. Brian McClin, whatever, something, 617. You guys are all disgusting. She lost her husband, blah, blah, blah. Have you ever watched a murder show, Brian? Ever in your life? Do you know how often it's the wife? It's the husband or the wife? Have you ever watched a murder show, Brian? Maybe check out Forensic Files or Investigation ID or something sometime and see how investigations work. You start with the people that are closest to the victim and you work your way out. Okay? That's how investigations work. Don't be a retard.
We're not pointing out.
Of course. And she just, but it's just what you guys found out and everything with your posts in regards to her with this guy, this Cabot guy, just unbelievable. I mean, who does that? I think the thing that's most is what you said, them putting him out there 3 weeks later and having all this stuff printed out already. That's just weird. Like, there's no way. There's no way. I don't know. There's just no way.
Yeah, I can't wrap my head around it. If anybody watched Alex Jones today, someone said in the comments that his guest was bringing me up, and it sounds like he was debunking. So if anybody could watch that, could come up and let us know what was said, that would be interesting. I don't watch Alex Jones for a reason. Go ahead, Nifty.
Hey, Diligent. Thank you so much for hosting. Amazing work on this stuff. So I just wanted to say as well, like, for me personally, I wasn't really a fan of Charlie's. I knew who Candace Owens was, but it's like, the more suspicious things happen, the more I'm invested. Like, before this saga, I was watching that Amy Bradley thing, and they're like, hey, uncover everything. Like, 40 years later, leave no stone unturned. Everyone's helping. And then with this situation, they're like, stop, don't ask any question. It's like, what happened to everyone does have a right to a fair trial. And, you know, a lot of times when you watch those true crime shows, it's like the parents or the sisters will be like 40 years later and they'll be like, hey, give us clues. We want to know what really happened. Because it's like, if you assume that Tyler Robinson was the person that did this, and it's like, he could be, and we can wait till...
We lose her?
Yeah, I think we did. I don't hear her. Shabbat Shalom. Everybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. My aunt just tried to call me. Sorry about that. Basically, all I was just going to say is that if you assume that Tyler Robinson did do it before he stood trial and everything, and they're wrong about that, then there's some very dangerous people walking around. So, you know, I think the reasonable response is, hey, get to the bottom of it. And if you want privacy, if you don't want to look at it yourself, then don't go on a media blitz tour and have your organization tweeting from beyond the grave and be like, hey guys, we got millions of dollars, give us more with this book that magically appeared before he's even, yeah, that's all.
It's Weekend at Bernie's, right? Am I the only one that thinks that? It's Weekend at Bernie's? Go ahead, Anna. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Hey, I was going just to say, guys, one thing that I feel that is happening. They saw that all Erika PR stunt was coming horrible. And the reason why they called Candace and make it this interview, it was because she was going to go live to debunk all the shit that they were saying. And practically they did the show anyway, and they didn't clarify shit. It's crazy. It's just not weird, guys. Everything go back to the Zionists. Everything goes back. What happened another thing that I saw that happened is all the videos in YouTube from Turning Point USA, from the Charlie show, that he was criticizing Israel, they disappear. They're not there, nowhere to be found. And they are purifying, they are cleaning everything because, they couldn't lose. The Zionists could not lose Turning Point USA. And they're doing everything. And the person that agree with them and they, 100% don't mind to take their money or whatever they have, is Erika. It's and all this shit they say in the show that Candace say, they gaslight her, they play her. Because they practically didn't say anything according with what she say, nothing relevant. Like she went there, she just
if you believe what was told to Candace.
Exactly, but even
you don't know if they're lying to Candace. I'm not saying Candace is lying, but they could be definitely lying to her.
No, I doubt that Candace is lying. Candace had good intention with this, and when Megyn Kelly told her, they want to meet with you, she went and did it, but it doesn't make sense. Like all this shit, like, okay, here's the call log for the wonderful Mickey McCoy, but don't clarify anything because the question that they need to ask Mikey is why he went away when he got shot. Not who he go, who cares?
Whoa, chat's getting weird. Do we got bots in the chat?
Who he go first or second or third. Explain to us why you went away like nothing fucking happened, Like no questions that make sense.
We got no clarification on that, did we?
No, we don't have no fucking clarification, and the things that I was waiting for the most. It's like everything goes back to the Zionists. And about the cabbage guy, I don't know how to say that name.
Well, I mean, you keep saying Zionist, but I need you to tie it back more than just, saying it goes back to the Zionists.
The Israel and, Netanyahu, like maybe he...
Yeah, I know, but it's not what we do in our spaces, though, right? Like, I do believe that, obviously there was a poll from the Israel cause. Before the end.
100%. It's ended up there, everything. And another thing that you.
But I don't like just generalizations. You gotta tie it into
I
the
understand.
Story.
I understand where you're coming from, sweetie. No worries. I got you. But one thing that she say is that the airplane, she was going to prove tomorrow that they was flying from Israel. Because it was a setup. And Charlie, it was set up 100% by all these people. They cannot be more disingenuous.
I'm incredibly sad. What do you think about the boyfriend?
Jesus came to fulfill the law. Fulfill, not abolish it.
Listen, guys, when you hear someone just like it's irked me. When you really forgot, you don't go and say it all the time. All the time, ask the Lord and I forgive and all this bullshit. Like they want to presenting her like she is Mother Mary coming to life. Erasing her past. It's ridiculous. You have to be a dumbass you don't believe this shit. You believe all this crap, you know. They want to sanctify her, you know, and here I am. I cannot do no fucking wrong bullshit. We all sinners. We all are. And we all have a past. You know, who cares?
Yeah, they could have just owned it and it would have gone a long way.
Exactly. You have a life before that. Everybody have men before their couples, you know, it's nothing wrong with it, but don't fucking lie. You know, like the lie are mind blowing in any way you put it, you know. But thank you for letting me speak, sweetheart. And very enjoying a lot this live show.
Thank you so much, Anna. Really appreciate that. Let's go to Koyas. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just had a couple of things based on some comments people made earlier. So the first thing is that
you're LDS.
What's that?
You're LDS. Yes,
I am. Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah. The first thing is that you have to always look at it not just as something was pre-planned, but also opportunism. And so we don't have any evidence when it comes to Israel yet, with the exception without anything other than saying this was opportunistic of them. And there's a lot of that going on. And so even when you look at people that were randomly brought back into TPUSA that have been removed, you always have to ask the question, was this really pre-planned, or did somebody see an opportunity created by a vacuum of a charismatic leader and are now trying to capitalize on it for their own benefit? And so we just can't always put things as a conspiracy. There are a couple of very specific.
It wasn't asserted as a conspiracy. That's why I told her that she would need to bring it back to the story with receipts somehow.
Right. Well, I
want to clarify for audience.
You're 100% right. And I mean, just in general, there is a lot of opportunism that happens in these power politics. It's not just conspiracy. There's a lot of opportunism. But when it comes to Erika, the problem isn't that she lied about this one thing.
But the fact that he was leaving the pro-Israel cause is a possible motive to take him out, correct?
Absolutely. Totally agree. I'm not saying that they don't have motives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not saying they don't have motives.
A possible motive.
Possible motive. Right. Totally agree. And I think that the way that Daily Wire staff have moved in to try to hijack TPUSA is at least incredibly opportunistic of them. Right?
But it also makes it looks worse from the optics of the motive thing, right?
I totally agree.
It lends credit, it lends merit to that notion.
Yes, absolutely. Totally agree with you. I'm just saying that we always have to take that with a grain of salt, that they may have been opportunistic about the situation. The big issue with Erika Kirk.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Right. And so there was somebody brought this up earlier, and they were concerned about what does this really say about Erika Kirk that she lied about this? It's not that she just tried to clean up her dating image before she dated this really high profile Christian guy. I mean, there's lots of reasons someone could try to do that. The problem is what some other people have brought up, and that is this isn't one incident. This is a series of incidents. I was the first person to get online and say, hey, leave the grieving widow alone. People grieve in weird ways. Don't make too much of nothing. But then I got pulled into watching a couple of these interviews. And she's clearly either on the worst management that anybody's ever put in front of a public figure, because she's so disingenuous in her behavior, like the little perfect dabbing of the eyes. I get it. She's a beauty queen. Her background is being super fake on stage. I get it. Okay. But the fact is that it's there's no deep sincerity and no organic behavior or vocabulary coming out of her. It's all so perfectly prepared. And it's all of her interviews are with just total softball people. But then the final nail in the coffin is the fact that why is she being put on the circuit with all of the mainstream media that hated her husband? Why is all of a sudden she being elevated to this perfect concerted answer? And the one thing that always stands out about that is when everybody in the MSM, or whatever you want to call it, the Con Inc., whatever it is, when they all start saying the same line, that means it was prepared, right? So at the very least, they're preparing the message of the transition.
Real quick, so I just got a hot tip from somebody that I think would know. Erika and Kabat were engaged.
Wow.
And it's all been scrubbed, but it was all over social media before.
And that's super fishy. You do not, look, if they have family, if family knows the real story, I won't go into the story, but we had a similar situation in our family, and somebody with a dead spouse brought somebody else into the picture way too soon, and the whole family's like, what are you doing? Like, you can't do this. Like, are you kidding me? So where is the family in all of this saying, why are you bringing, you can't, of all the people from Daily Wire, you can't bring the guy you dated into the spotlight, you know? So like Ben Shapiro would be an easier softball for them because at least he didn't have a relationship with the guy. I mean,
that is such a good point. If there's only one person who is worse to bring into the spotlight after Kirk's assassination than Ben Shapiro, it would be this guy.
Right. And so it's like, I mean, like if there's some weird plan for them to get back together, they're totally hosed. But that's just to answer that person's earlier question, it's not the one thing. It's the whole display is so phony. Like the whole, like, I forgive him in the leather pants with fireworks. It's just so inauthentic. It's so clearly staged that everybody senses its inauthenticity. And so,
which is why they're getting hammered.
Right.
They're getting hammered right now.
Right. And so that's the real problem. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that she was in on anything or anything like that. I'm just saying that whoever is making these decisions, putting her somewhere with, like, the best
thing. They just need to put her back where they got her from. She needs to go back with her kids. I wouldn't have her out.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, and then I totally agree. The only other thing I was going to mention is the fact that the problem with Candace's thing today wasn't that she couldn't change her mind or that she hasn't backed down a little bit or anything. The big problem is that Candace is known, to my annoyance, I don't watch her show, but she is known for her speculative claims. That's her thing. She speculates and then moves on. And then all of a sudden after this meeting with Erika Kirk, she's just happy to button up all these speculations that she had. Like all these things that she has leads on, or all of a sudden she's like not pursuing that aggressively. And I think that's what's really upset people is it's not the fact that she's not willing to like have a real conversation, but it's just so different in its tone and behavior than this like psycho buildup that's been happening over the last several weeks. So, you know, that's a whole other aspect of the Candace thing. It's like, why is she not, why is her demeanor and tone changed so much?
So thinking about it makes me kind of think that Candace got emotionally manipulated by Erika. I mean, what do y'all think, Chad? Y'all think that Candace got emotionally manipulated and fooled by Erika, or is she just a complete sellout, or is she just playing the long game? What do y'all think?
Other people are saying that. Are you talking about this episode in particular?
Yes, this in particular, yes.
Do you think that there's an underlying? Well, you know, somebody pointed this out, and so she kept saying they when she implied that Erika was there with other people. Is it Erika's security? Is it staff? Is it her attorneys? Like, who's they? You know what I mean?
It's her handlers. I mean, it's her handlers. Like I don't know who her handlers
person
are.
Probably at least, right?
Absolutely, because I mean, Erika is not. Nothing has indicated to me that she's some sort of like really brilliant woman who's capable of taking on this charismatic behavior her husband did. Like, I'm not trying to diminish her.
I think it's some amalgamation of everybody that responded to me and what I said. Yeah, there's something going on, bro.
Saying nothing she's done has said to me, this is a woman who can handle herself in a dynamic conversation. In fact, all of her interviews suggest the opposite. She's like a politician. She has to be prepped. She has to have her talk.
I don't know if Erika is a subpar honeypot. Erika has made like a couple $100 million in since Charlie's death. Are you sure that? I mean, what do you? I mean, she's like part of a huge psyop deal. Like, what do you call subpar? What is a honeypot supposed to do? I mean, I don't know, bro. I think she kind of hit the jackpot.
Points, and they're not supposed to ask questions outside of that for fear of what she might inadvertently say or how stupid she may make herself look. So my guess is her handlers were there. I mean, really, they bring out Erika. Erika's been dead silent this whole time. Candace is making wild claims. Like, I'm not saying Candace is wrong. I'm just saying she is making some really big claims out there and is yet to produce the receipts on the lion's share of them. And then all of a sudden they bring in.
I mean, she did drop some receipts.
I think that the public's so awake to honeypots now that, I mean, we didn't really see that as a viable thing. I mean, we knew it happened in like movies and shit, but now we're realizing it in real time. We see it like with Cat. I'm not saying, please don't sue me, Cash. I'm saying there's a theory that Cash Patel's Alexis is a honeypot. Okay, I can't handle lawsuits. I'm a poor guy. All right, I'm gonna bend over and take it. I'm not saying Alexis is a honeypot. All right. But we're so keen to that being a real thing now that like I think the public's eyes are completely open to that shit, and we make those connections like right away, and so it's like biting them in the ass.
She was accurate on leaving the pro-Israel cause, which I think is the biggest thing that she's dropped the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely huge. There's no disputing that was big, but this whole like tying it to like French militant things and all of that crap.
The Macron's penis and stuff is where she lost me.
Right. And the thing is I'm still willing to say
I watched that whole Macron series, and I'm convinced that Macron has a dong, bro. I mean, look at those hands. Look at the way that Brigitte walks. I mean, look at Bush Senior, Bush Senior's wife. Go look at that dude. I mean, that lady. Who cares? You don't care that your leaders are with training lovers, that there's perversion. You don't care about perversion. I bet you don't care about, gay is fine. Everybody can be gay and there's no perversion in that. Buddy, that's not what the Bible says about gays. All right? This whole gay, furry lover, it's all sexual perversion, okay? And it causes rifts inside of somebody's psyche that makes them susceptible to all kinds of demonic influence.
Say, okay, I don't know yet. Let's keep it.
Even porn it doesn't end there. I'm not saying it's just gay people that can be perverted. Like I had a porn problem, like most young men, and that I believe that it was Satan working on my heart and pulling me and my wife apart. And since knocking that shit off, me and my wife's relationship has improved tenfold.
An open mind. Let's see where this goes. I don't really like her style, so usually I have to digest her stuff secondhand. But the thing is that you really have to ask the question of if they're having this meeting, that she's got her handlers there. I'm not saying anything nefarious happened. I don't freaking know what happened. But the problem is that Candace can't be that person who goes, all the way to the French government with Israelis. And
Candace said that it was Justin Strife, Erika, George, and Candace's cousins.
Oh, so she had some representation there.
Yeah, don't criticize the new world order of two trans men fighting for a woman's sport title. Exactly.
Too, that was probably smart. But the thing is that the real problem here is that it's very what everybody senses that it's very clear. TP USA was departing from what Con Inc. wanted by having Dave Smith, by having Tucker Carlson.
The space jacked up. I'm gonna have to go back in there. We're at a minute or an hour and 120. Sorry guys, I'll go find it real quick. Hour 20. Is it? Yeah. That's it, right? Yeah. Hour 20.
Clear. TP USA was departing from what Con Inc. wanted by having Dave Smith.
Hey, again, while everybody's in here, this is not this is Diligent Denizon, okay, is holding this space. He said in the space earlier that he's got plans to start doing some YouTube stuff, so when he does that, I'll stop streaming his spaces. I stream these spaces to let people know about the very high quality content that is on X spaces, because most people don't know about it. Right, here you go.
Smith by having Tucker Carlson just unedited at these big events. And now there's this massive concerted effort to consolidate TPUSA into the accepted positions and opinions that'll support the regime.
And they're still angry as fuck that Tucker's showing up at AmFest this week. They're still, the Jewish donors are not happy, or their supporters.
No, they're not. But that's like, I think that's what's, I guess I'm just trying to articulate what most people I think are, like what they sense is wrong is we can all see that it's being co-opted. That doesn't mean there's a smoking gun necessarily, but we can see what's going on. And human instinct is to draw, connections between various events.
There's also the flagrant inconsistencies in their stories about the behavior after Charlie Kirk was shot. She brought it up tonight, and I wanted to address it. I was the one that broke the Terrell Farnsworth SD card story, right? And why I outed him. Not sorry, but he lied to her, right? He lied to her. He lied and said that the cops told him to do it, and that's not the truth, right? The cops asked you for the SD card because you had it, because you removed it. You did that of your own volition, and then he said, he said, oh well, I did it because people were stealing ads. That's also not true, right?
Yeah, there's no videotape of that, and the truth is. The most suspicious thing, by the way, as a Utahn and somebody who attended that college, the most suspicious thing about the whole thing is that anybody who's been to that school for any period of time.
My point is that the suspicion on TPUSA isn't that it's just like some power dynamic conspiracy. There's literally behaviors at the scene of the crime that need to be, that are not justified.
Yeah, like his close associate walking away.
Hey, y'all be nice in the chat. I don't want to get my channel freaking banned or nothing.
Hurriedly when he is shot,
The selfie video up on the hill, I climbed up there. I did one up there. It wasn't easy to do, right? He ran away to get in that position before Charlie even hit the ground. There's no rhyme or reason to that.
There's no rhyme or reason to why, especially after the Trump assassination attempt, why there wasn't security on the rooftops when those are like some of the easiest rooftops to set up on.
Yeah, there should have been a rooftop. I can't believe there wasn't a counter sniper up there or a spotter where,
Hey, my mom told me if I run into an asshole in the morning, you ran into an asshole. If you run into assholes all day, you're the asshole. How many countries have the Jews been kicked out of? And how many times?
I walked up there. There's no barrier between the walkway and the rooftop. There is now, but there was not one then. So it's a huge lapse of security. And then trying to play it off like it's on UVU. Well, tell Charlie's kids that, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, there's a reason you hire private security, because you don't want to trust other people's security. You want to make sure that your people are on top of it. And it's hard to believe that, so there's a lot of inconsistencies. Now, granted, there's a lot that can be attributed to incompetence in all of this, but the problem is that the desperate effort to look like...
Doesn't it sound like they're running into assholes all day, all the time?
They're awesome, and to not own these mistakes is actually only making it worse for themselves.
Another thing is, they attack people. Like I approached them civilly when I was asking questions about the SD card, right? Like I was just asking questions as they've somehow vilified, right? I was literally asking questions, seeking information, and instead of responding with any kind of cordiality or like nuance or any kind of like compassion or understanding. It was immediate vitriol. I mean immediate. The very first time I got a response from a TPUSA member, it was ugly, right? And that does not make you, that makes you, that actually attributes to guilt, right? You look guilty because now you're being defensive when you shouldn't have to be, right? If you have substantive reasons for your behavior, then you should not have to be defensive, period. But when you go, and they move from instantly defensive to offensive, where they're actually attacking people who are asking questions, labeling them, and shutting down the conversation, they created a Streisand effect. That's all of their own doing.
If y'all could do me a favor, if y'all have an X account, go follow Diligent for putting out. I mean, he's a really great journalist, and puts out good information. I don't agree with everything he says, but he is doing. I think he is a truth seeker. So go follow him on X. When he starts his YouTube channel, I'll push him a little bit. Also, if you could like and subscribe to my channel, that'd be great. But some people are stingy with stuff like that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Thanks for letting me make some comments.
No problem. Let's go to I can't see any hands. Actually,
Colonel has his hand up.
Colonel, are you there?
Yeah, I sure am. I just wanted to make sure I was cleared up. Hey, I listened to, you asked about anyone who listened to the Alex Jones show and the mention of it. A caller had brought you up as was kind of bringing up questions because listening today, and I have been listening to Alex for a long time. Frankly, sorry, can you hear me? I got muted again. It was a double mute.
It wasn't a double mute. You're good.
Okay, it keeps going on mute for some reason on my end. Anyway, so listen.
Yeah, Twitter's always been a cesspool, but you have to cultivate your feed. So you have to block, the obvious, bots and all that shit, and only follow people that you can count on or that you're trying to get that put out good information. So if you put in the work, X is the best news source that you could have, but if you don't put in the work towards it, it's awful. So I agree with you.
Listen, Alex, a lot of because he woke me up about a lot of things. Building 7, Epstein list, a lot of things that were like, holy shit. I'd missed a lot of shit over my 30 years in the Marine Corps because I was busy, trying not to die in airplanes. But today he brought one of the callers called in and brought you up, and it was because Alex was really going hard. He was just completely out of sorts in terms of his character, kind of almost like the Tim Pool, kind of almost like Nick Fuentes, kind of like unnatural, right? And that's the way it seemed when he was discussing this, and it was like he's trying to keep the team together and everything else, and he kept throwing out red herrings everywhere, like shots from different areas and all this stuff, and saying that he's debunking all this stuff, and all these people are throwing, but he was throwing those red herrings out.
Alex Jones was debunking?
Well, that's what he was debunking, like, there were a lot of
Wait, Alex Jones is bunking other people's conspiracy theories? Like, it's just
Yeah, that's exactly right. Which is out of sorts for him, right? But he wasn't attributing this stuff to Candace Owens, but he was saying it in the same time. So it was almost like discrediting her by association. That trick, that's kind of psychological play. He was kind of doing that today to try to,
Why did they bring me up? Did you see why they brought me up?
It was a caller. He's like, hey, I've been listening to a lot of different theories. Here's, he's one of the callers brought up your space, and that's what they brought you up for. And it wasn't that you got put into that pool, but kind of ancillary to the whole thing. It was like there's a lot of red herrings, as out there, right on this.
Well, what did they say about the space?
Well, it was like, hey, I've been listening to Diligent Space and following him, and he's following the story. And then he didn't go into like any specific on anything, but he was basically saying that the story doesn't add up. And Alex's position now is that that the story doesn't add up, but it's fundamentally not flawed, which I believe it's fundamentally flawed. So anyway,
the story doesn't add up, but somehow it does. That's
right.
That's a hell of a
he's like
position.
saying that not that there's not problems with the story. He thinks this conspiracy is that they're trying to cover up the larger ties to the trans movements or anything. At least that's what he said. But again, it didn't seem natural, right?
That sounds like the approved conspiracy theory we heard from Viva La Frey and TPUSA yesterday, right? Like that's the approved version.
There you go. So
the larger trans thing.
Yeah, I think you're on it. I think that's what they were doing. At the end of the day, the only thing I know for sure is that the Charlie Kirk.
The Fed talking points. They're brutal.
Yeah.
They're brutal. Thank you so much, Colonel.
Yep, there you go.
Go ahead, Dr. Strange.
Hi, Diligent. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thanks for giving me the mic. So, Erika Kirk has been consistently inconsistent. She reminds me of one of the wives in the Stepford movie. If you've seen that movie, she would fit right in there.
Someone said Real Housewives. I don't know. I don't watch that stuff, but she said that's what.
This is actually a movie in 1975, and then they redid it like 10 years ago. There's another. If you watch it, you know exactly what I mean. But nevertheless, I'll move on. So I watched actually the Candace show today, and I was going at 1.5 speed, so I got most of it. You know, I'll say this. Candace comes across as playing checkers when she really should be playing chess. That's my observations. I mean, this meeting may very well have been designed to understand how much she knows, who are all her sources in TPUSA, and then, you know, damage control, and then subsequently proceed with another narrative altogether. The text message the night before is extremely damning, right? Where Charlie Kirk is saying, I fear for my life, something along the lines of that. And he had sent it to two different people. So they asked her if she had seen the text message, Charlie Kirk's text message, because they want to know how much she knows, right? And she said, no, I don't. And I don't know. I mean, she's being honest, obviously. So they said, no, I heard it from Andrew Colvert and some other person from TPUSA, which, and then she goes on to say that, oh, I didn't see it because I was only checking his iMessages and not Signal and whatsoever. She didn't even clarify which platform it was shared in, which is really odd. And then why wouldn't Andrew Colvert tell you? He told Candace about the text message. Exactly.
Why didn't she ask for clarification?
That's where I think. I hope she did, but on the show she didn't say anything of that sort. I would have asked, let me see it. You know, do you have a picture? None of that. So I think, and again, as I said before, Andrew Colvert told Candace and somebody else told Candace, but they didn't tell Erika about this text message. And then what was really odd is after they got this information, they told her that, oh yeah, the guy said that it was a text message or a message saying some leftist is going to go ahead and kill you, or they tied it to a leftist after they got the information from her that she
even though that's not what was said.
Yes, that after they got the information, then they basically turned around and said it was a leftist that made that. The text message say that I fear that for my life from a leftist, which is really odd. I mean, there's so many holes in this story, and I honestly think that Candace should have done this differently. I don't know how. I think she really needs a much bigger team to help
Is it just
her out.
me, or did it seem like she was, especially after people like one of her listeners or her chat like sent her money and said that, like, implied she may have sold out, and did she like kind of needlessly invoke Israel's name a bunch of times towards the end of her show, or was it just me? It seemed like that's what I kind of felt like. She was like kind of like, well, the reason why is because of Israel. So she did say it. It was like, I'm willing to say Israel so you know I haven't sold out. Well, you know, there's a really good chance that it was the U.S. government. If there was any government involved with this, right? If there was any government involved with this...
I appreciate y'all, whoever keeps liking and sharing and stuff like that. I really appreciate that.
It would have to be more than likely the government to which the thing occurred, for the most part, right? And in cooperation, if you're going to try to blame this on Israel, right, it would have to be at our government's behest. So, who's to say? They're like, you can say Israel all you want, but you can't say, you don't know. I'm just saying, just because you're willing to say the name Israel doesn't automatically give you carte blanche, as having integrity, right? I realize that that is the threshold for a lot of groypers and anti-Israel folks, is if you're willing to say Israel, that automatically makes you carte blanche, or gives you carte blanche, or qualifies you somehow, but I disagree. Right. As a matter of fact, I often think that people who over-invoke the name of Israel or Jews do so in a way that discredits valid criticisms or skepticism or questions, right? Because they get conflated with those individuals who are more extreme. So, I just want to throw that out there. And I'm not saying that's Candace at all. I'm just saying, I just noticed that towards the end of her stream, she did say that about Israel, and I was like, we're not even talking about Israel right now. You had Erika Kirk at your house. That's what we want to talk about. It was just kind of weird. You know what I'm saying?
This ain't 1960.
Yeah, I must have missed that part, but I do take your point in the sense that whenever people go for the easy hook, you lose the independents, you lose the moderates. You may win let's say the groypers or certain other people, but if you don't have hard evidence and you just try to tie it to, a specific group, then you end up losing a good chunk of the independents and some of your credibility. But I didn't hear that part about Israel. I did hear about Qatar over and over and over. She wanted them to, somebody was blaming her about being paid by.
Sorry for the background conversation. I'm on a job site, and they were curious about how I have 160 people in my live stream or whatever. Pretty cool. I appreciate y'all hanging out.
Her. She's like, I'm still waiting. I'd be more than happy to get money from them. They haven't reached out to me. So that was really interesting.
I think that was all a deflection from Erika, though, right? Like the Tim Pool thing, and then the Qatar thing, and then the other hit pieces on her, and I don't know.
Yeah,
4 hours with Erika, and I felt like she talked substantively about that meeting for maybe 35 minutes, and I was just expecting a little bit more. I don't know. That's just me, though.
There is a tremendous amount of attack coming her way from New York Post, Tim Pool, and many others. So I will say that
his name is Timmy Smollett.
Yes, my sincere apology. You're absolutely right on that. So I would say that she is kind of dealing with multiple fronts in that regard.
That's fair.
And yeah, so I'll land with that. But I really appreciate you holding these spaces because
Please like and subscribe while y'all are checking out my channel. So says Ryan Everett 9901. That would be great. We get more people in here.
learned so much in the past few months, and I can't thank you enough for being.
It is a shit show, and we may never know the truth, but that don't mean it's not worth talking about and trying to get the bottom of it. I think we as a people got to come together and seek truth and spread truth, no matter the cost.
Being objective with this, because a lot of.
Did you see the reporting about the ex-boyfriend? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was. You have to watch The Stepford's Wife. You'll understand what I mean by that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's again.
Is it not weird that they're touring him weeks after Charlie's dead in Arizona? I mean, is that not fucking weird, or is it just me?
It's messed up.
Seems inappropriate. I mean, the dude. You know what I mean? Like. The guy she used to bang, I'm sorry to say it like that, fellas, but it does boil down to that, right? Like weeks afterwards is touring in her state, like on their dime. Like, what's going on here?
Well, he needs a place to stay.
Just a vow. All right, let's go.
Just a quick point. I think she's lost a lot of credibility. I don't foresee her going in.
She is being presented as a moral authority, right? That's what she was doing during the town hall. You know, they were presenting her as a moral authority, and it's obvious that she doesn't live up to the moral, right?
Yeah, and what's really what you also have to ask is a journalist like Barry Weiss, now leading CBS, goes in there and completely creates a softball pitch for Erika Kirk. Why would she do that? What is her incentive for basically ensuring to push her as this credible person? A journalist would push back, would ask questions, tough questions. She didn't do any of that, right? This was all more of like I would say more of like a propaganda pitch to showcase her in a certain light. And that's what I didn't like. You don't see journalists do that. Journalists would actually push for, take both sides of the story, kind of ask the tough questions. This was all like lobbing softballs at her, pre-scripted, all of it. That just, everything about it gave you that feeling that, this is one big push to push certain narratives. And that came off very disingenuous.
Man, I'm getting more and more DMs about this Colbert guy, and his background is very, very interesting. And we're going to get into that, I think, for the second half of the space, because it alludes to some pretty like establishment, high level ties. And what's interesting is that all of these people, Erika Farnsworth, the SD card guy, even this Cabot Phillip guy, they're all connected to the establishment, right? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's go to Cos Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know. I feel like this whole thing.
Oh, jacked up again. Hour and 39.
So, and she met Charlie and started dating Charlie at the end of 2018. So easy. It's absolutely crazy. Let's go to Cos Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know. I feel like this whole thing has become a real big shit show, and what it's done.
Is that true? If you double tap the screen, it will like the stream? That would be crazy. I'm going to try that next time I'm on somebody else's stream.
It's actually kind of weakened social media influence as a whole, because it kind of just shows that they don't have the experience and the knowledge and the depth at this point, and that their stories are not lining up or making sense, and they're showing their inexperience with.
That's cool, because I know when I'm doing the live chats or whatever, reading the live chats, when I'm watching somebody stream, I have to close out the live chats and then go hit the like button. I didn't know you could double tap it.
Dealing with a difficult situation like this. And yeah, I think the main problem that TPUSA or Kirk are dealing with is the lack of having.
Not a substance problem?
Yeah, I think so. I think for sure there's definitely a messaging problem. And what they really need to have is they need to have the crisis management team to help them deal with this whole situation, because I don't think Erika Kirk is equipped to deal with this situation. She was pushed into this role only because she was Charlie's wife, and she just doesn't have the background experience to handle the situation.
Reason why she was pushed into this role?
No, that's what it looks like to me. I mean, if we look at it at face value, I mean, if you want to,
experience, right?
Well, are you gonna let me finish?
Well, I was.
Yeah. So the way I look at it is, That's my perspective on it. That's how I read it, just based upon how she's answered the questions and how she's coming off as disingenuous, etc. I think it has more to do that she's applying.
Being disingenuous, or is she coming off as disingenuous?
I think she's coming off as disingenuous. I think she's applying her beauty pageant expertise.
Did she not explicitly state that she did not date anyone for 5 years before Charlie Kirk?
Look, I mean, we know we had that discussion yesterday, right? So I think she meant to say something more along the lines.
Admit an absolute truth.
Well, you could say that if you want to hold her to that, 100% strict definition. Yeah, she lied. But at the same time, I think what she really meant to say was that the New York dating scene was really not her cup of tea, and she didn't really feel comfortable in that environment. And the way she said it was just not the right way. That's why I'm saying, going back to what I originally said, what I originally said
in that environment.
Whoever said that, y'all got me like, I don't know, 10 or 15 likes out of that, man. I really appreciate that. I think it was Brian or Ryan. That was cool as shit. I'm glad that was some good info.
She said was that I don't think that's the problem with her messaging. I think she's going out there and she's trying to go off the hip, and she's
landed
trying to present
environment.
She's trying to present herself, in that way that a beauty pageant would, experienced person would do so. And I think she's just, doesn't have the right experience, doesn't have the right advisors around her to help her understand how she needs to present herself in this situation.
Do you think that she may have been chosen for that position because of her acting experience, and that she's pretty, and that she is also the grieving widow, and therefore is less subject to scrutiny and criticism, as well as...
Well, I mean, sure. I mean, they probably...
As well as pliable in certain political positions. I mean, your mic. Sorry, you weren't letting me finish.
Okay, so anyway... So the whole thing is if you look at it, they may have thought that, okay, yeah, that may be useful for us. This will help us blunt the feedback we get on this thing. But ultimately, she's just not the right person for the job, just for the fact that she is a grieving widow. Who in the right mind puts a person who's gone through some type of experience like this in that position? But I kind of feel she felt
that she might not.
No, you're making assumptions.
I didn't say anything. I
know exactly what you're going to say. I don't even have to. I don't have to wait for you to put it out. I've heard you. I've listened to you long enough on this stuff.
I said one who knows. You asked me a hypothetical question, so I started to give you a hypothetical answer, and I didn't even. I only said two things. I mean, is it because logic and reason would dictate that? Kind of like a person who is at a mass shooting event at a college full of people who walks around calmly afterwards as if they know that there's no continued threat. Well, someone who puts Erika Kirk in a position of power at CEO might also think, well, maybe she's not that distraught. Just a thought.
I think she I think she felt that she was responsible and needed to do this in order to keep the whole organization together, so to speak, at least in her estimation. And I think there was no one else to fill the void. They needed someone that could fill that void, that would be able to handle the situation, and she looked to be the best person to do that.
Well, probably a poor choice of words. All right, let's go to Destiny real quick. Thanks, Cosmike. Go ahead, Destiny.
Yeah, no, I just want to push back on the notion that Erika isn't, this isn't her decision to run the company, or this was like she's not prepared. She's owned multiple companies since she was in high school. Granted, they're not to the scale or size, but it's not to say she's completely inexperienced, especially considering the mentoring she certainly has gotten from her parents and how well they have run businesses. So I wouldn't necessarily make that assumption. One thing I wanted to say was that, I kind of agree on the idea that this feels kind of like wasn't really what everyone I think was kind of hoping for today. But I don't think that Candace's mistake has been in her inability to be a reporter. I think she's doing just fine. I think the disconnect comes from the difference between alternative media and mainstream media is I don't think people understand how much mainstream media was lying. It looks like the alternative is struggling because it's actually really difficult to verify, get information, and quadruple check, cross check. It's not the easiest, and the government lies about everything. So all this really reveals is that the mainstream media was probably lying about most stuff because they were hinged on whether or not the government would help them, and the government's not helpful. And so I wouldn't blame any investigative journalist right now trying their best. This is an environment that has been poisoned by the former owners, be it the establishment media. Thank you, Diligent.
Thank you. I think it's interesting, this conversation I'm having in the background. I'm not going to say exactly what they're saying or who it is. I'm reading these out, but I'm not going to say who they're from. So if you're listening, bro, I'm not doxing your messages. Eric and Cabot were engaged. Cabot's father was the head of the Americans for Prosperity, the Koch political wing. I don't know what that means. What's Koch? It's C-O-K-O-C-H?
Koch brothers. Koch
brothers. Okay, I'm not really. I've heard their names mentioned a bunch of times.
That's how it's spelled. So next time you see it, that's how it's spelled. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've heard them. I've heard the Koch brothers. I've heard that name, but I haven't looked into them or anything. So that's the first time I've read it. And Kabat also. Koch brothers. And Kabat also once was on Ellen for pranking his sister. And I did hear about this earlier when I was doing a deep dive on him. He had an ultra viral prank.
It's still on YouTube.
On his sister. And that they tried to scrub the shit out of it. Everyone who's in DC knows all of this and is quiet. Tim Phillips. You're the one who called it out. It's been known inside baseball. And it's been very much so scrubbed.
Wait, are we supposed to be point fingers at him because he pranked his sister?
I'm reading some information that was passed along to me, and obviously what they're saying has truth to it because the engagement and the relationship between Erika Franzwey and Cabot Phillip was scrubbed. I found it on the Wayback Machine. So
yeah, it's very common when people get married and stuff like that to kind of erase evidence of past for good reason.
Just 10 months later.
Yeah, of course, especially if you're getting married.
Wrong. I did not scrub my past when I
didn't say you scrubbed it. I didn't say you did. I said it's very common. I didn't say you did. So you're talking past
you also couldn't acknowledge the fact that she lied. So we'll just. I
still do not acknowledge it.
So you still deny that she dated anybody within 5 years of meeting Charlie?
I deny that she lied.
She said that I never dated anyone in 5 years before Charlie.
She said I didn't date.
No, she said I never.
We're going in circles. We're going in circles. It's like a normal.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a figure, a slight figure.
Reason we're going in circles.
It's a figure, yeah, because it's a figure. It's a
ended
figure.
Up acknowledging it later last night. And
I acknowledge that she used
copium.
No, hold on. I acknowledge that she used the word never. I don't acknowledge that constitutes a lie because it's a normal.
That she had a relationship with Cabot. How do you even say that? What kind of name is that?
Cabot Phillips.
Yeah. Can we acknowledge that she had a relationship with Cabot Phillips in 2017? Do you agree?
I don't know what year she did. It seems like she did have a relationship. I have no idea what year. I don't get into this Real Housewives shit, but I don't give a shit. I care about Candace Owens and all the fucking crazy lies that she's used.
Yeah. Well, is Candace Owens?
Is it because she's black?
Definitely. That's the only reason for sure. The only literally, I have no other issues with her. It's just the fact that she's black.
No other issues. She's a woman.
Is he wearing blackface?
No. It's only the black part. You were right. It was only the black part.
Oh, I hate
that. All right. Let's bring it back on point. Okay, so because I want to get your opinion.
Well, let's talk about her blackness for an hour.
I want to get your opinion on something real quick. Okay, so do you think that it is?
Phillips is the person that Erika was dating. I think somebody even said engaged to earlier, but I'm not substantiating it. Before Charlie.
Normal, right? Or acceptable for
I don't know if it's a law
Erika
firm or
Kirk
not.
to put her ex-boyfriend on tour in place of Charlie Kirk 3 weeks after he was assassinated?
Yes.
And why? Why is that normal?
Because it's a totally different life everyone's leading now. She's obviously been married and had kids. There's no
She's
indication
not married
that
anymore.
Oh, I said since their engagement or relationship or whatever it was, she's been married and had kids, right? It's such and now she has an assassinated husband. It's such water into the bridge. And Cabot Phillips works for Daily Wire.
She's being deceptive out.
Could I just finish my short answer?
Yep.
He's a personality in his own right who works for arguably the largest conservative media organization, which is the Daily Wire, and he's I think he's kind of senior there.
I don't think conservative organizations advocate for censorship, so I think that's debatable. We won't get into that.
All right, okay. We could all do the no true Scotsman thing, but a widely acknowledged and self-described conservative organization, which is also what TPUSA is. So yeah, so no, I don't think it's weird at all. If he wasn't a personality, if she brought him out of the blue, like in other words, if he wasn't working for conservative media, or he was a guy who had like 300 views doing kind of like, Rumble videos, then yeah, it would be weird. But the fact that he does
this guy wasn't on our radar at all. How is he a personality?
I've known about him for years. For years.
Well, I mean, because Daily Wire is like up your alley, right? Like you have an ideological bias towards
that. It's the most successful self-described conservative media organization in America.
Oh, well,
other than Fox News.
I was going to say, there might be a few that might be consider themselves contenders. Destiny, you can respond.
I just wanted to point out the fact that and I haven't checked for his dates, but he's a Liberty University grad, as is Erika for her master's, and she was there 2017 to 2019. So I'm just taking a stab here. If she's Liberty, what's the
You might not be the only
chances?
one who took a stab.
Hey-o. Yeah, that's right.
That's where I got my degree from, was Liberty University, unfortunately.
It feels like it's a lot of people now, which is wild. But the thing is, we should check to see where in the years that he fell.
Let me just tell you the kind of scrutiny she's under now. Okay, I can just tell you from the replies to my posts, people are like, "Are those kids his?" That's like, because this guy was like touring under Charlie, right? And like it was like hidden, scrubbed, and if you go through the Wayback Machine, they scrubbed this a while ago. It wasn't just like weeks ago. This was scrubbed years ago. And so I don't see any evidence that Charlie knew about it. He is photographed with this kid before she even met Charlie, right? And that's when she was dating this kid. I don't think he fucking knew. There's no evidence that he did know. And if that's...
I think I saw a picture yesterday.
If that's the case, and I realize this is triggering you, but it's okay. If that's the case, right, then... that picture's on my profile. That's what I'm saying. They were photographed together in 2017 at BYU while she was dating this kid, right? But she had never even talked to Charlie until the following year in Arizona at a TPUSA event, according to Destiny, and then followed up at the New York thing where they actually had a quote-unquote meaningful conversation and ended up dating. That was in New York in 2018, in September. Right, August was the first time they actually met, and that was just her turning in an application. But my point is, right, is that, how long? You know what I'm saying, Destiny. You say it for me. You know what I'm saying. Go ahead, Destiny. I'm sorry.
The lie detector test said that was a lie. This is not your child.
I want to call Maury right now. That's where we're at.
Maury. I was, what's crazy? I was thinking about asking Judge Joe Brown to come in and do a space with us, because I love Joe. I know him, and I was like, you should come in and weigh in on this whole everything and see, because he's got some of the best takes on the internet.
Well, number one, who cares? But number two, I don't mean to try out the whole conversation. Who cares? Like this is all like you're it's not even like the forest through the trees. You're like looking at the stem of the leaf instead of the fucking forest. It's like, who gives a flying fuck?
Okay, but
who
just
cares
because
about any of
Charlie's
that
a
shit?
Catholic doesn't mean he's going to fall for immaculate conception twice, okay? You know, I think
Charlie's
it would
not
be
a
an affront to
Catholic.
him
Charlie
and his religion. He wanted to be known by his faith.
You think this is a long space? There's still looks like 2 hours and 40 minutes of this space left. I've seen 24-hour, 36-hour spaces. Now, they do take turns kind of hosting it for a little while, take naps and shit. But, yeah, these spaces can go on for freaking ever.
That was his words. He wanted to be known by his faith, right? And if it's true that his wife is a Jezebel, then it is on behalf of people.
Destiny, not the YouTube guy or whatever. This is Destiny.
To respect his religion to get to the bottom
And
of it.
she is the CEO and most influential member of the largest evangelical Christian organization in the country, and not only religious but political, over the largest demographic of young conservatives or independents and even some liberals in the United States, as a quote-unquote moral authority. That is why this conversation is so relevant. If she was like just Charlie Kirk's wife and not spearheading this massive movement that's installing chapters nationwide into our children's schools, and we all know what it's like to have government or government adjacent organizations injecting shit into our kids' schools. Hello, right? If she's spearheading that front, then she deserves every little bit of scrutiny that she's getting, right? We don't
fair enough, but as the old expression goes, the main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. If you find evidence of that, not that she may have slightly exaggerated that she didn't date for 5 years, and maybe you found that she dated once on a reality show. I don't know.
That's the biggest.
As slight
that you'll get from AB there.
By the way, I'm just giving you good faith by saying slightly, right? I don't think I think it's just a regular figure of speech that she used, that you're, because you have taken sides, decided you don't like her. But if you ever want to come with any fucking receipts,
I don't have more than problem.
You have fewer receipts than Cancer Owens, and Cancer Owens has no receipts.
I just want to say, I don't not like Erika, right? I am judging her by the merits of the actions to which she takes.
You made it, but you came to a conclusion, and you're working backwards to try to backfill evidence.
Maybe so are you. How are you to judge that for him?
No, I've seen I've read an entire prosecution case.
So hold on, let me just clarify my position since you're stating it for me, right? My position is this: I have a skeptical lean, which means that I automatically distrust the institution and the individuals who are around Charlie Kirk, right? But that does not mean that I am open to them being credible or justified in their actions. It just means when they present something to me, I don't take it at face value. I need to see receipts. And if I see inconsistencies, I'm going to hold them account to it. My bias isn't going to prevent that. So that's my position.
You said jokingly, you made a joking reference to the Maury Povich show. But in seriousness,
I
that's
said
what you're
some
doing.
of my listeners, the replies to my comments were saying, "Are those kids even his?" That's me reading.
It's getting closer to Jerry Springer in his prime.
That's what. But I'm just reading what people are thinking.
I'm talking about your space, not what she's doing.
I'm reading what people are thinking now as a result of this latest revelation, right? I'm not saying that. You can go look in the replies to my pinned post, see it for yourself. A lot of people are saying it.
By the way, the old cliche that not all questions are stupid is false. Many questions are abundantly stupid, and that includes some of the ones in yours.
Yeah, just because you said I was joking.
But by the way, on both sides, on all sides.
But I'm joking, right? That was in joke. But some truths are said in jest. I'll just say that. Go ahead, Destiny, and then we're gonna go to Mira.
I was just making a recommendation. I'm not a medical doctor.
Yeah, so we have no evidence she's a Jezebel, and none of that shit. So if we had even the scintilla of it, then fine, it's interesting, but it still wouldn't.
I mean, there is
the main issue.
a little bit of a scintilla. I mean, it's an interesting choice of words, though.
No, there's a scintilla that she went on a single arranged date one on a reality show.
All right, guys, we are 1 hour and 59 minutes in to Diligent Denizon's space right here on his profile. This big purple thing. If you go to his oh, that's Noxie's. If you go to his profile and scroll down till you see the purple thing, you can watch the rest of it. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. You can go give him some love, like and share and subscribe to him. I'm not subscribing because I'm not paying money, but I am following him. Y'all have a good day. I really appreciate y'all joining me and liking and subscribing and all that. I hope y'all have a very wonderful day, and I'll find us another space to do tomorrow.